Hello, my name's Glenn and welcome to my workshop. A friend of mine, Tim from Works, runs a competition every year called the Scrapwood Build-Off. I am joining him this year and I've just got to decide what to make and which of the piles of wood to use because there's quite a bit of scrap wood in here. Let's have a look. So as you can see, there are piles of scrap wood coming out from underneath my workbench. There's some more in here. And there's some more here. So I think we've established I've got plenty of scrap wood. So let's get building. I'm going to start with these pieces of wood here. These originally came from a church pew. I think they're oak. It's pretty old, it's definitely well seasoned. And if there's not enough here, you might see some more wood appear, but that's irrelevant, it'll all be scrap wood. So I'm just going to start off removing the screws and any other bits of metal in there. So there are some ends of nails still in these bits of wood. For that reason I certainly will not be putting it through the planer thickener at any point, but I have got a multi-material blade in the table saw which will cope with these bits of metal, no worries. So now I've headed over to the table saw to square up the sides and the ends. Wait for it. There's the camera going. Don't worry, it'll live to film another day. There we go, that's all sawn up now and I've got some left over just in case I need it. So I've already told you that this is part of a Scrapwood build-off challenge. Do you want to know why I'm making this particular thing? Well, let's just go back a week or so and I'll show you the scenario. Do you want to watch a film?
Yes! Come sit next to me!
Okay.
This will be nice!
This is not working for me. I'll just go and fix this, I'll come back. Meanwhile, back in the workshop, it's time to build a frame. So that's the pieces of wood mitered up. I'm going to glue these together and make a frame like this. Have you figured out what I'm making yet, by the way? I'm sure you'll soon figure it out. Anyway, I'm going to do the glue up off of camera because you'll see me fiddling around with these stupid clamps which drive me crazy each time, and you don't want to see the guy behind the mistakes, do you? So I'll show you when it's all glued up. There you go, all that went really smoothly, like every one of my glue ups. Okay, so next job is to cut a piece of this thin old plywood, and that is going to fit inside that frame I've just made. And just to keep with the scrapwood theme, this is the back of a chest of drawers, I think. There we go, lovely bit of old plywood. Does anybody ever say that about old plywood? I don't think they do. Now for the next part of the design that is in my head, I want to cover that piece of ply with these pieces of wood at 45 degrees. So that plywood looks better already. Let's cut some 45s. There we go, so I've made a few 45 cuts on these boards, and eventually they'll all be stuck to this board. Now the clever ones amongst you will realise, why didn't you stick it to the board and then cut it all off on the table saw, and then it would all be nice and flush. There's one simple answer to this. I'm not done with these boards yet, so I need them to size, and then there's another process I want to go through before they get stuck to this. So what I'll do next is just get all this cut on the miter saw, and yeah, take it from there. Right, that's the last one cut.
So I've been away for the last few days on podcast business, but I'm back now and I'm back in the workshop, so it's time to pick it up. So let me just do a recap on where I got to. Come closer, I'll show you. Yeah, so like I said, I've made this frame, and we've cut all the angles on this piece of wood to fit on this piece of scrap plywood. So the next plan is to route a chamfer all the way around each edge, and then I've got these nail holes which I don't like, and I don't just want to fill with resin, so I'm going to drill those out, make some round holes, and I'm going to plug them with this bit of old curtain rod, 4 bits of oak, and I'm going to try and make a bit of a feature out of it all the way along. And I'm also going to leave some of the circles to fill with resin. So yeah, crack on. Okay, I think that'll do for the holes. So yeah, this is a little bit too big, so let's get to the lathe. Just a little recap. So, all the holes are filled that I want filling with wood. These ones are going to be filled with resin. So the next stage is to stay still. The next stage is to put some battens in to hold this at this height, and then we'll seal it up, get it glued down, and fill it with resin basically. And I want resin to fill all of these chamfers, and hopefully that'll look nice. And if you've not figured out what this is yet, it's going to be a footstool for 2 people, and the idea is it folds up and goes underneath the settee. Okay, I'm simply going to lay these all in upside down. Lay that on top, and then I cut these little batons from a nice piece of pine that I just found under the workbench. No idea where that came from, but I'm still going to class it as scrap.
I then simply just glued that in and used my favourite hammer to tack it down. Right, we'll just leave that glue to dry. Then it's resin o'clock. That hole there, that's a bit worrying. Where do you think all that epoxy's gone? Hopefully it's not on my bench underneath. Right, okay, so I came in today and there's been a little bit of leakage. And I have a nicely epoxied workbench. So yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean the top up, give it a sand, and I'm going to run some sealant underneath to seal it all up and have another go a pour. I won't bore you with all that, I'll just get it done. Okay, a little update for you. This project nearly went in the bin today because I wasn't happy with how it was looking. I started sanding the epoxy off, realised it was really unlevel, and that it literally would have taken me probably 2 weeks to sand. And that was not an option. So I put it under the router table. I didn't film any of that because I just needed to see if the project was salvageable and whether it was still worth filming. I think it is salvageable, but what I need to do next is just this line around here, all the way around the outside here. It's just uneven. I don't like the look of it. It looks a bit too scrappy, which is probably appropriate for a scrapwood build off. But I don't like it, so I've got a plan to sort that out, hopefully. So let's crack on. Okay, so the epoxy's dry, but there are a few low points here and here. I'm going to give it a sand, see how bad it looks, but I think I'm probably going to have to do a little bit of a fill on it. Okay, so it's had a refill and it's had an initial sand. What I'm going to do now is round over the corners and then give it a proper sand down. See how it looks. I've got the router table set up. There is a little danger that this round over is going to tear this piece into our arsehole. Let's see how we get on. I'm actually quite pleased with that. Right, more sanding and then it's probably time to figure out some legs. So I've still got some marks, indents on here which, you know, it's scrap wood and the resin's poured into it and I'm okay with that. what I'm going to do now is finish this piece with some Rubio charcoal, and I think that'll be a good look for it. So there we go, that's it finished with the Rubio charcoal. Not sponsored by Rubio, I just think it's actually just a great product, but I couldn't be happy with how that turned out. Right, better make some legs for it now. So it's onto the legs. What I've done so far is just fill these with resin and given them a rough sand. Off to the table saw. Right, I'll just get some roundovers on these legs, and I think we're nearly there. Okay, sanding and then finishing, and then assembly. Okay, changed my mind, it's sanding, then assembly, and then finish. Okay, they're screwed together. I'm going to finish the legs in Rubio Monocoat Mist for a little bit of contrast between the legs and the top. So I just put the finished legs on and offered the hinges up, which I'm very pleased with. They fit really well. Now I pre-drilled these holes with a view to screwing it down, but that would be an absolute mistake, so yeah, there's a number one crude mistake for you. I'm going to use this self-centering bit to mark all the holes. Good job then.
Nice one.
Did you get the drinks? Damn it.